Hello everyone, welcome to Alex's Tips and Tricks. Today we are going to cover Do Not Disturb. Now, Do Not Disturb is a wonderful feature that Apple has added both to Mac OS X and to iOS. I'm going to cover them on both, so we're going to start here on the Mac. Now, there's two different ways to enable Do Not Disturb. They both come from Notification Center, so if we open up Notification Center here, we can do that either by clicking on this icon up here, that'll open it up, or if you have a trackpad like I do, you can use two fingers and swipe in from the right-hand side of your trackpad, and that will also bring it up. Now, as you notice, there's nothing on this pane that says Do Not Disturb or gives you any indication that you can, in fact, turn it on. But if you scroll up, you will find there is Do Not Disturb right above the date. So we can go ahead and turn it on, and it'll tell us right here that right now, if we did nothing, it will automatically turn it back on tomorrow. You'll also notice when we turn it on, the Notification Center icon grays out. So that's one way of doing this. Now, another is if you hold down, let's go ahead and turn this off here. If we hold down the key Option and we click on the icon, you'll notice it grays out and automatically turns on Do Not Disturb. See, it's there on, so on and so forth. Now, what does Do Not Disturb do? Why would you want it on? Well, Do Not Disturb does a couple of different things. Number one, it will turn off any banners and alerts that you would have. So that's the different notifications that'll pop up here in the upper right-hand corner. It'll also silence any phone calls coming in, be that from FaceTime, like this guy here, or if you have an iPhone hooked up to your computer and allows to share phone calls through there, it'll silence those as well. Now, there are a couple of options for Do Not Disturb, and we can get at those options from System Preferences and then Notifications. Another way to get there is if we come in through Notification Center. At the bottom here, you'll see the little System Preferences icon. If you click on that, it'll bring you right to this section as well. Now, the first thing on the list here in the notifications is Do Not Disturb, and we'll go through all these different guys here. Right here, it'll actually give you just a little description of what Do Not Disturb does, but you can do a couple of different things. You can schedule it to occur from certain times of the day, so that way, if you wanted, let's say you had a meeting every day from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Well, now, no matter what, it'll be silenced from 2 to 3 during that time. Or you can do it at night, however you would really like this to happen. When the display is sleeping is another good option to put in, especially if you have notifications set up for mail, like I do, because then every single time that you would get a new email, or you'd get a new message, or whatever, your display would turn back on. So this is decent to have depending on what settings you have for your things in Notification Center. And then when you're mirroring to TVs and projectors, that's if you have an Apple TV like I have here, that's definitely a good option to keep set up as well. But the other thing is while it is on, here, these are some good options. So you can allow calls from anybody. So rather than, let's say you wanted all your notifications that are coming in the upper right-hand side here. Let's say you didn't want any of those, but you did want to receive calls. This is the option for you. Or you can allow repeated calls. So if somebody calls a first time, they will be silenced. But if they call a second time within 3 minutes, usually indicating that it's a pretty important thing to take, then that one will not be silenced. So those are the different options for us here on the Mac. Now, quit out of this guy. Let's take a look at on a phone. An iPad would work the exact same way. So here we are in settings, and you will notice towards the bottom here, right here, is Do Not Disturb. So if we come into here, we can turn on Do Not Disturb just by turning on manual there. Now when we do that, a moon icon in the very top right here next to the 100%, that comes on. And that lets you know that Do Not Disturb is on. We can schedule it just like we can on the computer. We can allow calls. And here, we have a few more options than we do on the computer. We can do it from everybody, from no one at all, from favorites, or if we have specific groups that we have in contacts on the computer, we can actually do it from a specific group. I personally prefer favorites, so I'm going to do that. We can have the repeated calls, same as on the computer, and if it's silenced, whether it's always silenced, regardless of whether you have your phone unlocked or locked, or only when it's locked. For me, again, I'm going to do only when the iPhone is locked, because if I have it unlocked, that means I'm using it, and I'd prefer to at least get the notifications then. So, that is one way to turn it on and off. See, I don't want it scheduled. However, we can set it here manually. And the other way to do that is if you swipe up from the very bottom, you will get in the very upper right hand corner next to the little lock symbol is Do Not Disturb. And you can turn that on or off that way. All right, so that is the way that we can work with Do Not Disturb. If you guys have any other questions or comments or any feedback, anything like that, go ahead and leave that in the comments, either on Tumblr or whatever works best for you here. And I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.